Good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, my name is Cindy Wicker. I am happy to serve as one of your board of trustees. My pronouns are she, her. Thank you for joining us this morning. You can scan the QR code up on the slide to check in, to access our donation page, and to view the digital order of service. Visitors who are here in person are invited to pick up a gift out at the welcome table in the gallery and to join us in Sloter Lounge after the service to learn more about our congregation. There's lots to do here at First UU. It's nomination season for church leadership. Please consider serving or nominating a friend. We need members in good standing to be candidates for moderator, the Board of Trustees, and the nominating committee. Current members of the nominating committee would be happy to answer your questions and look at the job descriptions together during coffee hour. The nominating committee is also abbreviated NOMCOM, just so we're in the know. Okay. Our 8-week class on the grief recovery method begins tomorrow at 1 p.m. Please contact Kathleen Fowler to register. Join us for our annual Sorrow at the Season service on Sunday, December 10th at 5 p.m. And sign up now for the next Paths to Membership class on Saturday, December 2nd from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Those are all the announcements. So please rise and body your spirit and join me in the singing of number 347, Gather the Spirit.
Good morning. I'm Amber Scott, your Director of Religious Exploration, and my pronouns are she, they. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbus. Rachel Walden writes, Unitarian Universalist theology and values call us to confront false myths of Thanksgiving history and reimagine our traditions as we acknowledge historical and present-day truths of white supremacist theft, violence, and genocide. As we live into Thanksgiving traditions of gathering with friends and family and sharing a meal, we must also recognize this day as a national day of mourning for Indigenous peoples across North America. We gather here on the stolen land of the Adena, Hopewell, Wyandotte, Miami, Seneca, and Cayuga peoples. Despite forced relocation in the 1830s, Indigenous people are still here and will always be here. These people and tribes have been stewards of this land since time immemorial. To acknowledge that we occupy their lands is only the first step of many we must take in order to repair and heal past and present trauma and oppression. Land acknowledgements are a symbolic reminder of what we must do and become performative when we do not take action. Let us take a moment of silence together to reverently embody our respect for Indigenous people and cultures and to imagine the next steps needed for healing and repair in this place we also call home. Thank you. Today's centering words come from Latinx queer, non-binary UU minister, Reverend Julian Ninen Soto, from their book, Spilling the Light, Meditations on Hope and Resilience. This is a charm for hope. The first thing to do is tie a string around your finger. Remember that you are not alone. Think of the ways that our best shared futures are braided inextricably with your own present and your destiny. The second thing is to untie the string and let the knots and tightness fall away. Let the burden of bleakness roll off your sore shoulders. Resistance on these opaque horizons only requires one source of strength, one ray of light. Remember that persistence doesn't require all the answers up front, only one. Fortunately for all of us, we have one response: to remain together through awkward times and happy ones. We remember and we find our resolve in one another. Now, while our children go prepare to bring in the light, please turn to one of your neighbors and introduce yourself and share with them in the spirit of gratitude. It is now time for our children to bring in the light. El molcajete de mi abuelita, Julian Nenen Soto. My grandmother's grinding stone has gotten lost. It was gifted to a pastor. Once in his office, I saw that that was where he rested his Bible, the place where there was corn, fortifying nutrition. Surviving is made of the shadows of the grinding stone. It is made of all the forms of work of my grandmother's hands. The lace, the tortilla, the future of her 12 children embroidered with love, painted with stubborn faith, hems of 1,000 prayers. The grinding stone was lost, but the women, the great-grandmother, and the grandmothers remain forever. They are my grinding stones of permanence, of knowing, becoming both myself and my community. You can go ahead and sit down. You can just sit that down or give it to me. Yeah, that works. Thank you, Nemesis, for your help lighting our chalice this morning. Good morning. Today is an all-ages service, which means our community of many ages will be experiencing worship together. There are no children's classes today, but there's still infant and toddler care available in room 101. Families are invited to check out the toys and quiet activities in the We Worship area in Slaughter Lounge, grab a busy bag from out in the gallery, or to take a break from the service at any time. Our first story today is called Fry Bread, a Native American family story. Presented from an Indigenous perspective, it is worth noting that I cannot claim these words as a white reader. Written by Kevin Noble Maillard, member of the Mekuski Band of the Seminole Nation and Syracuse Law professor, and illustrated by Peruvian-American Juana Martinez Neal. This book was inspired by the author's family. Fry bread is food: flour, salt, water, cornmeal, baking powder, perhaps milk, maybe sugar, all mixed together in a big bowl. Fry bread is shape. Hands mold the dough, flat like a pancake, round like a ball, or puffy like Nana's softest pillow. Fry bread is sound. The skillet clangs on the stove, the fire blazes from below. Drop the dough in the skillet, the bubbles sizzle and pop. Fry bread is color: golden brown, tan, or yellow, deep like coffee, sienna, or earth, light like snow and cream, warm like rays of sun. Fry bread is flavor. See beans or soup, smell tacos, cheese and vegetables, delight in honey and jam, rise to discover what brings us together. Fry bread is time. On weekdays and holidays, supper or dinner, powwows and festivals, moments together with family and friends. Fry bread is art, sculpture, landscape, portrait, our daily craft, shared from teacher to student, a cycle of heritage and fortune. Fry bread is history, the long walk, the stolen land, strangers in our own world. With unknown food, we made new recipes from what we had. Fry bread is place, Alaska, Kansas, all the way to Maine, down to Delaware, on to Georgia, over to Oklahoma, Colorado, and California, cities and lands we call home. Fry bread is nation, Abenaki, Apache, Arapaho, Ojibwa, Onondaga, Oglala Sioux, Narragansett, Navajo, Nipmuc, Seminole, Shoshone, Sac, and Fox, hundreds and hundreds of tribes. Fry bread is everything. Round, flat, large, small, north, south, east, west, brown, yellow, black, white, familiar and foreign, old and new, we come together. Fry bread is us. We are still here, elder and young, friend and neighbor. We strengthen each other to learn, change, and survive. Fry bread is you. The end. Today, as we examine the roles that food, togetherness, and tradition play in our lives, may we also consider how to widen the circle to include all of our human relations. Please remain seated and join me in singing number 402, From You I Receive, twice through, as we sing our young people back to their families and back to their seats.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
During the month of November, we are sharing our offering plate with the Native American Indian Center of Central Ohio, or NACO. As the only viable urban Indian center in Ohio, NACO's presence is a critical component in the lives of numerous Native American individuals and families. By holding space, NACO is helping to strengthen the people's healing journey while interlacing identity, pride, family, community, culture, traditions, connection to place, values, visibility, balance, harmony, and holistic well-being. Your gifts directly support NACO's Land Back campaign to purchase land for their community center. Sharing our plate is just one small way we can support contemporary Indigenous people, knowing that our church and grounds were built on stolen land. In addition to passing the basket, you can text to give, scan the QR code, or visit firstucolumbus.org/donate. Thank you for your generosity. Today, we have 2 caring cards to sign in Beach Hall. We are thinking of Bob Bletcher, who was hospitalized earlier this month after falling multiple times. Doctors found nothing that would cause him to fall, and he was discharged to the Mayfair Village Nursing and Rehab Center where he lives. Our hearts also go out to Becca Morse and her family. Becca's mother died last week, among other recent losses. More words from Reverend Julian Nenan Soto. If I sent you a text, it would say simply, "I have good news." Would you text me back? If I sent you a note on my very best note card with a sticker and postage stamp that said, "You are not going to believe this," in a way meant to allow you to suspend some disbelief, not to tease you for being skeptical, would you read the inside? You are used to casual mentions of the place where you belong. Faith, ethics, love in action, but what if more were possible? What if you had a sign, garish, neon, buzzing with enthusiasm, an occasional blink, and a bug zapper buzz? You are the oasis. You are a hospital for broken hearts, whatever it is that keeps you shy, reserved, appropriate, in telling where it is that folks can belong and grow back their injured hearts is worth a challenge. Grow unashamed at your own healing and connection. Grow proud of your diligence in keeping mutually dependent promises. Grow affectionate and supportive toward your community, even though it is imperfect. But most of all, be foolish for love, tender-hearted for love, and bold for love. Boldly you must hang your light, neon, buzzing, bright. And do not be chagrined when your light blinks. It is a silent song of, yes, you. You are welcome here. Boldly give your love and arrive at your joy. I invite you now into a moment of silence, prayer, meditation, and breath.
und Heil. Dank sei dir Dank, sei dir Herr, du hast dein Volk mit dir geführt. Dein ist nun das Land. Dank sei dir Dank, sei dir Herr, du hast dein Volk mit dir geführt. In deine Gnade gabst du Heil.
Oh, right. Thank you, Jessica and Karen, for that lovely offering. Now it's time to make some soup together. Thank you to everyone who dropped off food to share before the service this morning. Christine Davidson is cooking soup in the kitchen right now for all of us to enjoy together after the service. I'm going to read Stone Soup by John J. Muth. Later on in the story, when you hear me call out the ingredients Nikki handed out before the service, you'll have a chance to come on up and throw them in the pot. If you'd like to participate and you didn't have a chance to pick out some vegetables, there's still a few more right by the door of the sanctuary. 3 monks, Hawk, Locke, and Sue, traveled along on a mountain road. They talked about cat whiskers, the color of the sun, and giving. "What makes one happy, Sue?" asked Hawk, the youngest monk. Old Sue, who is wisest, said, "Let's find out." The sound of a bell brought their gaze to the rooftops of a village below. They could not see from so high above that the village had been through many hard times. Famine, flood, and war had made the villagers weary and untrusting of strangers. They had even become suspicious of their neighbors. The villagers worked hard, but only for themselves. There was a farmer, a tea merchant, a scholar, a seamstress, a doctor, a carpenter, and many others, but they had little to do with one another. When the monks reached the foot of the mountain, the villagers disappeared into their houses. No one came to the gate to greet them. And when the people saw them enter the village, they closed their windows tight. The monks knocked on the door of the first house. There was no answer. Then the house went dark. They knocked on a second door, and the same thing happened. It happened again and again, from one house to the next. "These people do not know happiness," they all agreed. "But today," said Sue, his face bright as the moon, "we will show them how to make stone soup." They gathered twigs and branches and made a fire. They placed a small tin pot on top and filled it with water from the village well. A brave little girl who had been watching came to them. "What are you doing?" she asked. "We are gathering twigs," said Locke. "We are making a fire," said Hawk. "We are making stone soup, and we need 3 round, smooth stones," said Sue. The little girl helped the monks look around the courtyard until they found just the right ones. Then they put them in the water to cook. "These stones will make excellent soup," said Sue. "But this small pot won't make much, I'm afraid." "My mother has a bigger pot," said the girl. The little girl ran home. As she started to take a pot, her mother asked what she was doing. "3 strangers are making soup from stones," she said. "They need our biggest pot." Said the girl's mother. "Stones are easy to come by. I'd like to learn how to do that." The monks poked the coals. As smoke drifted up, the neighbors peered out from their windows. The fire and the large pot in the middle of the village was a true curiosity. One by one, the people of the village came out to see just what this stone soup was. "Of course, old-style stone soup should be well seasoned with salt and pepper," said Hawk. "That is true," said Locke as he stirred the giant pot filled with water and stones. "But we have none." "I have some salt and pepper," said the scholar, his eyes big with curiosity. He disappeared and came back with salt and pepper and even a few other spices. "If you have the salt and pepper, come on up and put it in the pot." Sue took a taste. "The last time we had soup stones of this size and color, carrots made the broth very sweet." "Carrots," said a woman from the back. "I may have a few carrots, but just a few." And off she ran. She returned with as many carrots as she could carry and dropped them in the pot. If you've got the carrots, add them to the pot. And there are still some extra vegetables back there if any young at heart people are feeling inspired here. The monks stirred and the pot bubbled. How good it smelled, how good it would taste, how giving the villagers had become. At last, the soup was ready. I think a page is missing. Hold on. Oh, here we go. "Do you think it would be better with onions?" asked Hawk. "Oh, yes, maybe an onion would taste good," said a farmer, and he hurried off. He returned in a moment with 5 big onions, and he dropped them in the bubbling soup. "Excellent. Now that's a fine soup," he said. The villagers nodded their heads as the smell was very agreeable. But only if we had some mushrooms," Sue said, rubbing his chin. Several villagers licked their lips. A few dashed away and returned with fresh mushrooms, noodles, pea pods, and cabbages. Something magical began to happen among the villagers. As each person opened their heart to give, the next person gave even more, and as this happened, the soup grew richer and smelled more delicious. "I imagine the emperor would suggest we add dumplings," said one villager. "And bean curd," said another. "What about cloud ear and mung beans and yams?" cried some others. "And taro root and winter melon and baby corn," cried the other villagers. "Garlic, ginger root, soy sauce, lily buds. I have some," people cried out, and off they ran, returning with all they could carry. "If you have dumplings, bean curds, cloud ear, mung beans, yams, taro root, winter melon, baby corn, garlic, ginger root, soy sauce, lily buds, mushrooms, noodles, pea pods, cabbages, onions, carrots, salt and pepper." The monks stirred, and the pot bubbled. How good it would smell, how good it would taste, and how giving the village had become. At last the soup was ready. The villagers gathered together and brought rice and steam buns. They brought lychee nuts and sweet cakes. They brought tea to drink, and they lit lanterns. Everyone sat down to eat. They had not been together for a feast like this for as long as anyone could remember. After the banquet, they told stories, sang songs, and celebrated long into the night. Then they unlocked their doors and took the monks into their homes and gave them very comfortable places to sleep. In the gentle spring morning, everyone gathered together near the willows to say farewell. "Thank you for having us as your guests," said the monks. "You have been most generous." "Thank you," said the villagers. "With the gifts you have given, we will always have plenty. You have shown us that sharing makes us all richer." "And to think," said the monks, "to be happy is as simple as making stone soup." The end. In this story, three clever monks teach a whole village about generosity, gratitude, and joy. Together, we can accomplish more than we would be able to apart. As you consider the stones that you may collect and the soup we can make together along the way, I invite you to rise as you are willing and able and join me in singing number 1008. Oh, I apologize, that's not in the script. Thank you, Nathan. Today's benediction is titled "A Rock in Our Pocket" by Reverend Julian Ninen Soto. When they are kids, it seems like a profession, talking to rocks and listening for their beauty, for the song that says that they belong together. They pick up the shiny one, the round one, the flat one, the pretty one. They store them in boxes, in bags, in pockets. Don't worry, they're very clean after being laundered. But what you will miss unless you pay attention is this. There is always the possibility that we can treasure what is in our pockets rather than the thing we have yet to attain. There is knowledge of the earth beneath all of us that a plain, sparkly rock can give. It is the hurtling round rock on which we race around the universe. There is the sense of beauty all around, but after choosing to experience it, to seize it, and to savor it, you could do worse than a practical, ongoing yes. This community will not begrudge you any reminder of your individual or shared strength. Carry it with you everywhere. Be ready to share it. You know where you can get more. As you consider the stones you may collect and the soup we can make together along the way, I invite you to rise as you are willing and able and join me in singing number 1008, "When Our Heart is in a Holy Place." Please remain standing after the hymn.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love heart is in a holy place. When we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, when we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, when we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence, a sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place.
Please join hands or otherwise connect with your neighbor as we extinguish our chalice together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of vision. As we go forth, let us heal and transform ourselves and our world through reason and love. Please join me in singing our closing hymn, number 1010, Oh, We Give Thanks. And I hope you will join us for some soup after the service.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.